So this is going to be, I think, part 7 or 6 or 7 of my Naming of Cats segments. This should be a short one. In my last segment, it was an add-on where I was talking about the name of Gillian Lynne, a renowned British ballerina who, after turning to choreography, created the sinuous dances in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, which became the longest-running musical in London's West End, and on Broadway died on Sunday in London. She was 92, and that was back in July 2nd, 2018. Which I mentioned that I tried to make Cats into a movie using my music videos and calling it a documentary movie. And I made a playlist on my larger YouTube channel, Jared Routson, called Cats Infest Anaheim, the documentary movie from the mind of T.S. Eliot, filmed by Jared Routson and published on such and such a day a few weeks ago in 2022. So there's the playlist, and it runs 11 hours. 2 hours of it were omitted because of copyright restrictions, but those 1 minute segments of those omitted videos can be seen, although they're zoomed in so you can't see the full video. But the thing is, Cats doesn't have to be a movie, because although they did make it into a CGI movie in 2019 with Taylor Swift and Ian McKellen and Judi Dench anyway. But Cats can make it as a dance production. And it's because of the work of Gillian Lynne that it's a dance production. And I picture her as a sorceress using all her power to create Cats as a dance routine instead of my movie. It's like, but I'm not He-Man. Instead of my documentary movie. But I'm amazed I was able to publish that 11 hours worth of, not all of it's Cat songs. So, but I don't use any of the original footage of Cats in my videos, and I don't use their, so I use my Cats audio with a movie which is silent, movie clips which are silent, and I just add the music, Cats music to the silent movie clips, and voila, you have the documentary from the mind of T.S. Eliot of Cats Infest Anaheim. But I realized there was something left unraveled in this cat naming of Cats. So we know that Gus the Theater Cat is Antonio from Puss in Boots, the voice of Puss in Boots. And Asparagus is Mike Myers, who played the Cat in the Hat. Well, Gus the Theater Cat says that moment of mystery when he made mystery, when he played Fire for Fiddle, the Fiend of the Fell. Who could that be? It's an actor. His name is John, and it's not Dr. Seuss. It's not the Cat in the Hat. It's John Gielgud. Let me read about who is John Gielgud. Let's try that again. Who is John Gielgud?
According to Wikipedia, Sir Arthur John Gielgud, OM, CH was an English actor and theatre director whose career spanned 8 decades. With Ralph Richardson and Laurence Olivier, he was one of the trinity of actors who dominated the British stage for much of the 20th century.
Okay, so now we know who that is, because, and there's another reason why it could be him. Gus the Theater Cat in his poem says, I have acted with Irving, I have acted with Tree. So Irving could be the actor Ralph Richardson, a part of the Trinity actors, those 3 actors. And Irving is Ralph Richardson, who I don't know who he is very well. And Laurence Olivier, I know he was in a movie about some kind of Arab. He played some kind of Arab conflict movie drama. So Laurence Olivier can be Tree. Okay, so that's how I came up with who Fire for Fiddle, the Fiend of the Fell was. In Just a Theater Cat, the poem, he also mentions Dick Whittington's cat. So who is that? The Cat in the Hat. Well, who's the person who represents the Cat in the Hat? Dr. Seuss. So why? Here's another reason why the Fire for Fiddle, the Fiend of the Fell, I believe is John Gielgud, because you have on where did it go? On the Roman Styron YouTube channel, that's capital RONAN, capital STYRAN. That's 2 words. Roman Styron YouTube channel. You have it's entitled Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. And T.S. Eliot is Old Possum. Maybe that's T.S. Eliot's cat name. Old Possum's Book of Practical Cat, that's a nickname one of his writer friends gave him. Because, as like a possum, he can put on a poker face when it comes to his personal life and his career. Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot, narrated by John Gielgud and Irene Worth, 1983. So these 2 actors read the whole book. He was the male voice and Irene Worth was the female voice. So Irene Worth can be from Gus the Theater Cat. She Poor Little Nell. Who is Irene Worth, the actress? I have sat by the bedside of poor little Nell. When the curfew was rung, then I swung on the bell. It says Irene Worth was an American actress. So she's American, not British. But it doesn't really matter if you're American or British in these cats' names. Irene Worth, CBE, was an American stage and screen, at least not for the ensemble cats. Was an or Canadian or Australian. Was an American. Irene Worth, CBE, was an American stage and screen actress who became one of the leading stars of the British and American theater. She pronounced her given name with 3 syllables, Irene. Worth made her Broadway debut in 1943, joined the Old Vic Company in 1951, and the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1962. She was never married. She won a Tony Award for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role in a Play. Education, University of California, Los Angeles. Royal Center School of Speech and Drama. Parents are Agnes Thiessen and Henry Abrams. So that's a little bit about who Poor Little Nell is. And Gus the Theater says he once played a tiger, which in the Broadway version, the lyric is, I once played Growl Tiger, could do it again. Well, Gilbert, in my video, William Shatner, Captain Kirk, is kicking Gilbert off a cliff. The Romulan or Klingon captain offers Gilbert, the cat, offers him his hand. William Shatner almost gets pulled down by him after that, so he's being played. Captain Kirk is being played by Gilbert. And Captain Kirk kicks him in the head, and then Gilbert falls into the fiery lava. So that could be Gilbert playing Growl Tiger. But in the poem it says, Gus the Theater Cat, he once played a tiger, could do it again, which an Indian colonel pursued down a drain. The Indian colonel might as well be my dad, Sam Routson, who was in the Marines, a lieutenant colonel, and I think did become a colonel, or a version of a colonel in the Marines, whatever that is. And we know that my dad is Oh. His name is Murad. Murad. But the full name is Mirla, which I think is a female name. Mirla. Mirla, it's an Arab name. Mirla Murad Ali Beg. Ali Beg is Persian or Arabic, I'm not sure. My dad isn't Arabic, but we do have a little bit of Native American in us. So he can be an Indian colonel. We only have Native American on one side of the family on one person. So it's very minute. But nonetheless, I once played a tiger, could do it again, which an Indian colonel pursued down a drain. So my dad likes movies. Maybe he was rooting for Grell Tiger to win. And so I found out that the name they used to replace George when he retired is YRJO, who is John Mills, was given that name. I'm not John Mills. Ken Page, who played Deuteronomy, was given YRJO. YRJO, a masculine Finnish given name that is the equivalent of George, may refer to YRJO von Gronhaugen, 1911 to 2002, Finnish anthropologist. And actually there are all kinds of, there's Finnish poets, Finnish authors, shoemaker, Finnish athlete, Finnish senator, professor, historian, and politician, Finnish writer and social politician, Finnish architect, Finnish astronomer and physicist. So there's a Finnish economist. There are lots of people with that name George. So I think we've pretty well covered all the professions. All have their own cat name. And that's really all I wanted to add for now. Looking up the meaning of names. If you did want to look up the name of Murad, Murad means wanted, desired, wished for. Etymology. It is derived from the Arabic Semitic triliteral roots. Its Arabic meaning can be translated roughly into wanted, desired, wished for, yearned, or goal. And my dad is a goal setter. He doesn't wish for things, he gets things. In the United States, there are 2,325 people who have that name, and in Israel and Palestine and Brazil. So it's quite common. Murad, or variants Murat, Morad, Morad, and Murad is an Arabic origin and common Armenian, Azerbaijani, Turkish, Kurdish, Persian, and Pakistani male given name and is common. Okay. In French, merle means blackbird. Well, my dad is not a blackbird. Well, if his sun is in Scorpio, Scorpio is supposed to be an eagle, not a scorpion. So a bird of some sort. But merle in English origins means shining sea. English form of Muriel via Muriel. The baby girl named Merla has its origins in the Celtic, Hebrew, Old French, Egyptian, French, and Latin names. Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know that about the blackbird. And Ali Beg is a real person. Sixth Bey of the Turkoman Tribal Federation of the Akwayunlu from 1435 to 1438. There's other people with the name of Ali Asif Ali Beg, actor. Excuse me. Well, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to get on and clarify. Remember that Pounceful, which is Adam Wingard, the director of Godzilla vs. Kong 2021, who is going to be making the Thundercats remake. And they're working on another movie version of Puss in Boots. DreamWorks is going to release another movie of Puss in Boots with Kitty Softpaws. So we'll see more of them. They're working on a Harry Potter video game, Hogwarts Legacy, that's going to be released for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. So it has modern graphics in it. And it's going to show Hogwarts Castle and all of the common rooms. That should be interesting. Pounceful is in Greek mythology, who is Pounceful? Pounceful, the name meaning.
According to Wikipedia, Humsafar.
That's
Urdu.
not it. Okay, but Pounceful is a character in the musical Cats, and in T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, he is brown, white, gray, and black, and has a lot of freckles. He is portrayed as a Tom between kittenhood and adulthood in most productions of the musical. So if Pounceful isn't a Greek name, but Admetus is, I'm pretty sure, a Greek name. Plato is a Greek name. And there might be some others from my original list who I didn't give the actual mythology to. Let's try Admetus, the Greek myth. Admetus, the Greek myth. Admetus, which is Liberace, Idris Elba played McCavity, and Admetus is Idris Elba's cat that he played in 2019. I mean, the person who does McCavity also is another ensemble cat, and that might be Admetus, I'm not sure. But in Greek mythology, Admetus in Greek legend is the son of Phares, king of Pharea in Thessaly, having sued for the hand of Alcestis, the most beautiful of the daughters of Phyleus, king of Lolkos in Thessaly. Admetus was first required to harness a lion and a boar to a chariot. With Apollo's help, Admetus succeeded and married Alcestis. When the Fates decided it was time for Admetus to die, Apollo intoxicated them and made them agree to keep him alive as long as someone else would take his place. Interesting. Apollo, who, for having killed the Cyclops, was temporarily condemned to be a slave to Admetus, befriended him and yoked the animals for Admetus, who thus obtained Alcestis. And I'm sure it goes on and on, the mythology. Of course, we know Plato is a philosopher, a Greek philosopher. I don't know if the name has a myth behind it. Demeter, she's a Greek name. That name I gave to J.K. Rowling. Demeter went to the underworld for half the year because she ate pomegranate in the underworld, a food in the underworld. So that's how we get the myth of spring, summer, and winter. When she's in the underworld, it's winter. When she comes back to the world, it's spring, becomes spring. Now, before I go, I wanted to mention about, if I can find it. So in the Cats musical wiki, on the fandom apps, if you do a Google search, it gives fans vlog opportunities. In the theories about these cats, a lot of them have owners, which are said to be rich owners, or rich owners who became poor and had to sell the cat, had to sell Victoria, or an owner who was a gymnast. So if you go onto there, you'll find a lot of background information from fans, which I don't think is backed up by any official writings of T.S. Eliot. But when you get to this point in researching cats, I mean, it becomes quite entertaining. The cats really had real life owners. It's like, those cats sure are busy. No wonder they need 9 lives to do all of this. Thank you so much.